weak, now I know you can relate to this. When you feel like you're weak, or you don't have strength, or you can't go on, or you're having so much trouble and difficulty in life, Paul says, in those things I boast about that, because why? Because God is great. I boast about my weakness. I tell you about all the things I'm struggling because God is still with me. God receives the glory in Paul's life because he faced all those things to serve Him. Paul had a passion to follow God no matter what the cost. I love this verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Let's read this verse out loud, okay? This is something that you and I can read out loud and totally relate to. Let's read it out loud. Let him who boasts, boast in the Lord. Let's read it again. Let him who boasts, boast in the Lord. One more time. Let him who boasts, boast in the Lord. You know why you have the things you do? And the reason I have the things that I have is because of the Lord. The struggles that I have, God has allowed those struggles in my life so that I can depend on Him more. And so I can love Him more and develop a passion for Him more. The reason why we have anything, our breath, our career, our life, the house that you live in, the food that you'll eat later today, the Scriptures, the reason we have all of that is because of God. It's never about us. Let him who boasts, boast in the Lord. If you have something great to say about what God has done in your life, give glory to God. Let him who boasts, boast in the Lord. I've been talking about the church, and we can learn a lot from the early church, right? Church 1.0, the first century. Here we are, 2009 years removed from that very first year. And God is still working in the church the same way. He still is. Nothing has changed. God's laws, His commandments are still the same. The church and those in it. I don't know if you realize it or not, guys, but God has called you and He's called me to be difference makers in the world. To tell people about Christ. So that they can have a relationship with Him and go to heaven someday. Next week, I said I was going to spend the next 2 weeks sharing how to tell people about Jesus Christ. And so I'm going to have a lot of stuff for you to have in your hand, and hopefully you will take some time and write your story out. In the next 2 weeks, you're going to hear from 2 other people other than me in our church who are going to get up and they're going to tell their story about what their life was like before Jesus, what their life was like, why they gave their life to Jesus, and what has God been doing in their life since. I want to encourage you to come back the next 2 weeks. Guys, if you've never shared about Jesus Christ, you're missing the reason God called you. And so I want to teach you how to do that so that we can go out and do that together. Is that okay? Let's bow our heads forward in prayer. Lord, I thank you for today, and I thank you that you're such a good and gracious God. And Lord, no matter how many times we fail you, you're so faithful to us. And I thank you for that. I pray that you would help us to develop a passion for you. Lord, I pray that you would help us to develop a passion for others. And God, that we would realize that this Christian stuff doesn't happen on the weekend. It happens every day, even in our homes, even on the job. Lord, I pray that you help us to follow you. You know, if you're here this morning and you've never given your life to God, let me just say that God is passionate about you. He loved you so much, He sent His Son to earth to show you what He was like. And He ended up dying on the cross to pay for the sins of the world so that we can have a right relationship with God. So if you've never given your life to Jesus, today I want to encourage you to do that. You can do that by just saying something like this: Jesus, come into my life. Forgive me for my sins. Forgive me for being far from you. Help me to follow you. Lord, help me to give my life to you because you want the very best from me, Lord. God, as much as I know how I want to follow you, I pray that you would teach me how to do that. For the rest of us, we might say something like this: Jesus, help me to love you more. Help me to love you at work, when I'm joking with my friends. Help me to love you when I'm on the internet. Help me to love you when I'm thinking things I shouldn't be thinking. Lord, help me just to love you. And Lord, help me to love other people. Those people that I don't really like right now, God. Help me develop a love for them. Like the Apostle Paul loved those people who hated him so much. And God, I pray that you would help me to follow you no matter what it costs. Now with our heads bowed and our eyes closed, let me just ask you the question. If you prayed to receive Christ today, you prayed that prayer a minute ago, to ask him to come into your life. Is there anybody here that prayed that prayer? Just slip up your hand and put it right back down so I know that I can pray for you. Anybody here pray that prayer? Nobody looking around? Your eyes closed? Lord, I thank you so much for those that are here today. I pray that you would help us follow you. In Jesus' name, amen. Before we take the offering, I just want to encourage you again to look through the bulletin. There's a lot of things that you're going to need to know about that are coming up really quick. As the ushers come forward, we're going to get ready to take the offering.